So let's go back to this brilliant artwork by Michelangelo. So remember that drawing is a process which is divided in two ways, which work together: gesture and structure. So we want to design them. We design gesture with lines and which represent movement in the body or every thing that's around you, and structure represents the volume, the surface that you're seeing. Lines aren't adequate themselves, but if you add structure to it, your drawing would have a sense of volume. So structure is form and mass. Let's put it this way: 3D and 2D primary forms. So that's it. Let's get started. First, we start with gesture, and then we think about structure as well. I hope you remember the procedure of gesture drawing. First, we start with head. Then you have to find spine, which has 3 parts: cervical part, thoracic part, and lumbar. Here is cervical, thoracic, and lumbar. Okay, that's it. Let's make it a little bit here. Okay. So the next part was showing the movement of torso. And as you can see, body here is twisted. Something like this. And then we get upper leg. Okay. But first we don't draw this way, because we don't want to draw symmetrical shapes. So I repeat what's here. 1, 2, 3. Then at the end, because it's a muscle here, latissimus dorsi muscle, at the end I would add it. I add arms next. Here we've got neck. You see, I don't draw symmetrical lines. So that's it. And before I get to structure, let me tell you something about lines. I draw 3 lines here. Sorry about that. I want to tell you some points about how to draw lines in order to work together harmoniously. Look, if you draw lines, this is the symmetry line. If you draw lines like this, you see the movement here is neutral. It doesn't have any effect. Here, this is the same. You look, it's a symmetrical design. But if you have this line, it's better to repeat it again if you want to draw another line in your figure. You see, I did the same. So avoid drawing number 1, 2, okay? But the third one is okay. Lines like this, these are okay. Okay, let's erase it. So, gesture mostly is done. And here remains structure. I could work more on gesture, but I want to keep it simple and easy to understand for you. So for structure, I told you that we have to translate everything you see to primary forms: cylinder, sphere, and box. If you want to analyze Michelangelo's drawing, let me change the color. You can see eyes moves on the surface like this. So these lines represent structure. But to clarify gesture, the lines that go inside the form this line they are inside the form and they represent the movement of the body, but they don't have any volume. So to get a sense of volume, we have to use structure. Okay. So here we got the neck. Neck is a cylinder shape and is twisted. And then we have another cylinder here. Look here, I can add the complementary line. It goes down towards the leg, towards the back of the hip. And then let's make it a little bit shorter. So here we have another cylinder. And for completing the arms, it's not really necessary to be concerned about all the muscles that we have here. We've talked about primary, secondary, and tertiary forms. Here we are working with primary forms. So at this stage, it's not necessary to think about how to put all the muscles down. Now you see I'm just drawing with simple cylinders. And there's another point which could be helpful. Its name is foreshortening. How to tell the viewer that this part has a kind of perspective. It's further than this part. This part is closer to us, so the cylinder is longer, as you can see. Is longer than this one. So remember this point while you're drawing. And here another sphere, first sphere, and then next one. And you remember the thing that I've told you about how to learn basic forms, then add them up together to complete the shapes, or to have the shapes that you want. For example, one sphere is, here is not adequate for us. But if we add another one to this one correctly, then we would have the shape of the arm. So that's it. By drawing this line, I'm showing that she moved actually. Her face downward. And I'm showing the perspective here. So that's it. Let's clarify some details. If body is twisted, like this one that we've got, imagine a cube or box that's like this. You can analyze the forms. You see, in this way you can understand where to put this line to show the twisting of the body. And I remember that I've told you something about overlap. Let's complete this one. Imagine that we have two cylinders. Cylinder A, cylinder B. You want to show that A is further, sorry, the B is further and A is closer to you. What do you do? You just have to draw overlaps to show that the cylinder A is closer to you. I don't know what I've done. Okay, sorry, something strange happened to my Photoshop. Okay, I was telling you that what you could do if you want to show that cylinder A is closer. You use overlaps. Then to clarify and maintain the volumes, you can add something really helpful, which is overlaps. I write an O here, overlaps. For example, look here. We have overlap here, here. Everywhere that we have we have this situation, better to say. And to show that the body is twisted, you can use it as well. It's really a helpful tool for you. So I think I'm finished. Just let me make all the lines clear for you to understand it better. And then we say goodbye. And another thing is that avoid drawing straight lines, because they will make your drawing lose its movement and gesture. We want to have a movement and fluid gesture. Another overlap here. Okay, that's it for this session. I hope you enjoy it, and goodbye.